So the other day, I saw a video by this guy named Twoon while I was at work on how he got a 16-year-old Thot banned off of Twitter. And I watched this video, and then I proceeded to read some of the comments, and a couple of things kind of perked up to me. Now, if I can go brass tacks, if I remember correctly, what he basically did was he pointed out that this girl, I think her name was Bree Adeline, was a 16-year-old girl who was posting very sexually suggestive stuff onto the internet. And one post that she made in particular was deleted off of Instagram and I think Facebook. It was or Snapchat, I think it was deleted off of. And so she posted it on Twitter, and Toom called it out as child pornography. And then her account was then banned subsequently, I think after that. And he was really proud of himself at how he had truly patrolled a thought right off of Twitter. Now, there's something really interesting about what happened here. I remember there's this one comment that just really stuck with me. And that comment was, yeah, this girl got... No, he said, like, this 16-year-old Thot got exactly what she deserved. Now, this was really weird to me because the disdain for the 16-year-old for producing whatever she produced, it doesn't really feel like she is the aggressor here, but more that she's the victim. It doesn't really feel like she's really has done anything wrong because she seems to have been purely attention whoring. Now, she might have had a premium Snapchat. I hadn't seen it. She might have been asking for money. I didn't see it. And if she is, then I can understand that disdain of her swindling guys out of their money, which is completely illegal. Just if she is selling, herself, she is distributing child pornography by definition. Whether you think someone of her body type should be considered that way or not, technically, as the law stands, that would be the case. There's no argument there. But even then, I still would figure that when it all came down to it, she is the victim here. A victim of probably a lot of different things all culminating together. Now, to give you guys an idea of what she posted that was considered child pornography, I'm not really even entirely sure if this was the most egregious thing. Like, when you think child pornography, or at least when I did, I'm not really thinking of, like, 13 to 14-year-old girls in bikinis, because they post that shit on Instagram all the time. And so that opens up a whole can of worms on, like, bikini pictures, right? But I'm talking about, like, what she was posting was pretty strongly, like, sexually suggestive. Like, you can't miss it, but when I think of child pornography, I was thinking more of along the lines that she was, like, she had to have been naked, or to some extent, or some degree. And in the video that I saw, she really wasn't. She really was more putting, maybe she didn't have underwear on. I couldn't really tell because the video was blurry. And the video has been removed off Twitter anyway, so I really had to seek this one out. She was trying to do a split, but the position of the camera was literally behind her and just showed her butt cheeks kind of wobbling, back and forth. So here's the thing. Could you consider that child pornography? I guess. Was it the most egregious thing I've ever seen? No. But fine. She should get banned off of that. But the thing that kind of really gets me, or kind of bothers me, is the fact that Twoon and his subscribers, I guess, or some of the guys who watch it, were proud that they removed her off the internet as if, like, she had wronged somebody. And honestly, I don't really think that she wronged anybody but herself. Like, I don't think that a girl, and I'll throw up some images up here so you guys can see what she was posting. I don't think that she is the aggressor here. What I'm trying to communicate here, my friends, is that I think that if a girl like 16 gets to a point where she's being this sexual on the internet, if any woman gets to this point, really, there's something wrong with her. Like, something's not good there, especially, again, if she's 16 and she's doing that. If you're 18 and it's legal, you're probably doing it for money, and even then, well, that's not good. Like most porn stars, let's just expand this up to porn stars, right? They're not normally happy people. There's something good did not happen in their lives that usually leads them to the path of wanting to do porn. Usually. I mean, maybe from, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen any well-adjusted woman choose to go into pornography. And so, my friends, this is what leads me to the title of the video. Why do I Thot Patrol? Why do I have an issue with these whores on the internet, these e-girls, these Twitch thoughts? Why do they bother me? Because that video, when I saw Toon make it, it made me come with the question as to why I do this thing. Now, here's the thing. Thoughts were not always called thoughts, you know. In the olden days, in the time before 2018, before that stupid acronym was even a thing, we used to just call them attention whores. There's nothing new about them. They're not a new species. It's just a new word to just describe the same old phenomenon. And I have always talked about attention whores since, I don't know, several years ago. I made the Attention Whore Chronicles. This was, 3, maybe going on 4 years ago. Never finished that series, but I probably will sometime in 2019. I'll finish the Attention Whore Chronicles, maybe. But like I said, like talking about this caliber of women has never been anything new on my channel. My channel's just not relatively popular, right? So, like I've been, I guess, thought patrolling for years now. And my motivation has never really been one out of spite. Because I've never really felt swindled by these girls. I never felt taken advantage of. Like, I don't give these girls any money. Like, I don't, do anything for them. I don't even like their comments or anything like that. I'm getting some Twitter stuff, but I don't even like their picture. I do nothing for them. Like, I don't even do the bare minimum of sharing their posts. So I'm not swindled. Like, I'm not missing out on anything, but I'm not even usually personally offended by them. I don't really, I often, the reason why I've always so-called Thot Patrol is mostly for their sake, and also because I think that they're a malignant force in society. So it's always been two things. So for their sake, I don't think that this is healthy. Like some pain had to have occurred into their life to get them to this point. And so when I see a woman that is that sexual, when I see a woman who is that desperate for attention, I feel bad for her. And I don't think that this is the path of life she should go towards. And I try to discourage any woman from trying to go towards that path. I don't think that that's going to make you happy. I don't think that you gain anything well out of it. And even if you get lots of money, even if you get thousands of dollars and you get to go to these penthouses, and even if you get to go out and have sex with these rich guys and you become a high-end prostitute, let's say you do all that, you get all these things and all these material things, and at the risk of offending some of the atheists in the audience, I mean, what should profit a man to gain the whole world but to lose his soul? I mean, material items are great, but they always depreciate in value. So yeah, let's say you become a high-end whore, you become an Instagram model, or more accurately, advertiser. Let's say you get all of those things, but if you're always insecure and sad about the way you look, then like who's really missing out? Like, where is the pain coming from? Yeah, you can buy things and you can live a comfortable life, and I think we all want to live a comfortable life. I think we can all be kind of envious of that to some degree, if you're not living a comfortable life, that is. Maybe we all want to kind of be lazy and literally just have our jobs be that we get pictures taken. I don't, but let's say someone is jealous of these thoughts. At the end of the day, oftentimes they're very sad people. Let's take Brittany Renner. Brittany Renner wrote a book that I made a review about that I'll probably post. If not the next video, it'll be the video after the next one. But in her book, we see, I really liked her book only in the sense that it's one of the best examples of just showing you guys in the world just how miserable that these women are. Like, we always see pictures of these girls like being outwardly sexual, but they're just pictures. You can't really talk to them. You don't really get to know how they're feeling on the inside. And oftentimes they're not happy people, and that's the bottom line. They're not good people. So for their sake, I've always made these videos with the intent not really to address those girls in particular. I think they're kind of far gone, you know what I mean, if they got to that point, but more so to curtail the behavior of other young women who are also feeling insecure, other women who are also feel like they're attractive enough to get away with it, or maybe they don't feel like they're attractive at all, and they want some positive affirmation somewhere. For as much as we see a lot of this on Instagram, like those are the girls that want to be recognized, but you have you can go on Reddit and you can find a lot. You can find a lot on Reddit of again girls who just want to feel valued and just want to feel attractive, and I do feel bad for them. These girls aren't normally vicious people, they're just kind of sad. And so one of the first reasons I think why I so-called Thot Patrol and try to curtail these attention whores antics is because I don't think that it's conducive to them and it's going to be healthy for them and help them out in the long run. So then there's a second problem I have, and I genuinely think that these girls are a malignant force in society, because even if their intentions are not vile, some of these women are vile people, and they are able to get away with like a lot of stupid dumb shit, and a lot of these women are very nasty and arrogant, and the problem here is we elevate, to put it quite bluntly, I say we, like as men in general, I've probably done this before in the past as well, but we elevate very normal women or very kind of like kind of alright women to a point of arrogance that is completely unearned and really just kind of damages the way not only men perceive women, but the way women perceive men. Like the sexual relationship between men and women is pretty awful right now, and I don't think the thoughts are helping. I think they are the as I've said earlier in different videos, they're the different side of the same coin that is incels. If incels are the men that cannot get sex or can't get relationships from women, then you have all of these thoughts and these e-whores, or even just some normal average girl who's on Tinder. Even you get all of them who are getting puffed up to a point where they don't think any man is worthy of them, and it's often unearned arrogance. So these women are often they're lonely only in the sense that men are beneath them. So they're just really arrogant, and so that's just kind of a nasty trait I don't like dealing with women. I just don't like personally, but I don't think that this is healthy for society in general, because if women are viewing men as beneath them on a regular basis, then we're not having healthy relationships being formed between men and women. And that's what we need in order to keep our society going. If every woman just does not think highly of any man that she's trying to date or be with, like no relationship can even begin to be formed. And there's lots of really great men out there who may not be super tall, who may not be super attractive. They're probably just alright, looking guys who are simply discounted only because these women have had their heads puffed up by social media, by the numbers of followers and the thirstiness that they have been surrounded by. So this cancer, this genuine cancer that is permeating between a huge market of what you would think would be lots of single women and men just makes everyone miserable. Everybody loses out here. And so one thing that I try to do is I try to put that arrogance into perspective, because it like I said, it's very unearned. And even if you are a pretty person, like you've done, like half the time you don't really do anything to become pretty, or to be attractive. It's just kind of out of your control, like usually just genetics. Now, even if you put on makeup can only really accentuate, well, no, that's not true. Some makeup can really just make you look like a whole different person. Like if you cultivate that skill of makeup to where you're able to like legitimately, like it's basically a mask, you're right? You just change your face. So that's a little different. But even to some of the other girls that are like really attractive, like really pretty with makeup on, oftentimes there's still some natural beauty there. And even then, if you're putting on makeup because you're really that ugly, you still haven't really done anything particularly difficult, albeit time consuming, sure. Maybe you have to look at detail a lot, but it's still not hard. Like, let's not pretend that you're lifting weights, you're changing your diet, you're actually, trying to look up all these different things. And then there's like the plastic surgery, then there's just the straight up, like rhinoplasties. Then there's just, if you're spending thousands of dollars of just enhancement to your body, again, you're not doing anything difficult, you're just paying for something to be done for you, and so you haven't earned it, is basically what I'm saying here. And so your arrogance is unwarranted, that you get from the fact that you being a pretty woman and you deserve the best guy or whatever is worthless, because you yourself are not even an individual that really brings any value into a relationship. And so the point that I've oftentimes tried to make with these girls is trying to put them into perspective and try to bring it down to a reasonable point, which isn't to say that, if you're like an ugly woman can't expect to be with a guy that she's attracted to. Like that's not what I'm saying, man. What I am saying is that you gotta put it into a reasonable perspective, and I don't think a lot of women's perspective or even expectations of men are reasonable in any degree. And I think a huge portion of that comes from the fact that we have mediums, or we have social media, and we just have just a normal experience as women in general. Just way too many options of men to date. And even if Tinder is like a pseudo form of that, you know what I mean by that is, by pseudo, is even if a woman doesn't actually have Tinder, the fact that she can get on that, or Bumble or whatever, and then be bombarded with all these different guys is really skewing things. And so the Thots, on the other hand, are more than anything else, I think, just on the internet you have that problem. But if I can expand that from the internet, you have real life sluts, right? And then you have a really, now you have the ultimate problem. And the ultimate problem, which I've talked about time and time again, is just single mothers. Just awful fathers. The real world effect isn't just that we get to a point where on the internet, like people on the internet still go out in reality, right? But you have single mothers who are just sluts, genuinely just whores, raising children. And what do they learn? What do they gain out of not having a father? And I've talked about this, you know, time and time again ad nauseum. Probably going to talk about it some more in the future. That's why I feel like this needs to be stopped, honestly. It's not about, and some of these girls, like, they'll take your money, they'll swindle you, but I mean, like, you have to give your money to them willingly. Like, it's not about that these women are really, you know, antagonistic. That's what I'm looking for. It's not really like these women are bad because of their business tactics. It's not really that these women are even bad because they have unearned, comfortable lives. I think they're bad because there's a genuine plague to themselves. They are genuinely hurting themselves. They don't gain any, genuine confidence out of this. They don't really benefit apart from monetary gain. And even then, you can still be miserable in a mansion. You can still be miserable, you know, with lots of expensive things. So they're not really winning out of all of this. There's also the fact that it destroys relationships. These women's arrogance is just completely unearned and just unreasonable, to a point where men cannot even approach them, men cannot date them, and they end up lonely. And lots of men who, in another time period, who are average or okay, would have been able to date them, no longer can approach them because they just have this wall of thirstiness, just this barrier of options that they feel like you're not worthy of them, you know. And so no one wins with that either. And then you have the real world effect that because these women, you know, the 80-20 rule, the real life thoughts, the real life sluts are being impregnated by men that don't want children. And the product of these children are either going to complete the cycle or they're going to become really terrible people, you know. And it's not complete destiny. Like some people might say, well, I grew up without my dad and I'm fine. Maybe you are. There's a lot of people that aren't. There's a lot of people that aren't. You might be fine. There's lots of people that are not fine. Plenty of them. And those people end up sometimes becoming the spree killers that everyone is scared of. Those people that come from broken homes, right? And even the thoughts themselves oftentimes are products of not having a father figure coming from broken homes. So the cycle just keeps going on and on and on. So the attempt is that I don't really have a personal vendetta against these thoughts. The truth of the matter is, like, some people will always, I always get this one, how does it hurt you? How are you better? If a girl wants to be naked or to poor, why are you complaining, you Christian? I've seen people like cry and mew to me, and I'm just like, you gotta realize, dude, like, personally, I don't lose. When I see a naked woman, I'm not losing out anything. But she is. So it's not for my sake, it's for her. And if she wants to continue on the path of self-destruction, that's her prerogative. But I don't think that anyone should be following her there. So if I let her go off the cliff of self-destruction, I can't stop that. But if I can stop some other young lady from doing it, then I'm going to do it. If I can stop some other young man from giving his money to that girl who's just not going to do anything with it, I'm going to do it. Because I don't think that I genuinely feel they are a very malignant force in our society, and they are not producing anything good. They are producing the opposite. They are producing awful, horrible things. They are breaking down our relationships. Their arrogance is too high. And some of them in real life are having bastard children who end up also having miserable lives. And that, my friends, is why I so-called Thot Patrol. So with that being said, I should hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, man, you go ahead and click that like button. And shoot, go and click that subscribe. Comment in the comment box below. As always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.